let's talk about Baptize. And obviously,
Yeah.
this is, you've been singing on ATREYU Records like we talked about from the beginning. This is the stepping up all the way,
Yeah.
and stepping away from the drums and bringing in a drummer. And obviously, you'd started writing some of this stuff with Al prior to him leaving the band. And then, of course, there's Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker and the Feldman universe, as I like to call them, the
Yeah.
Feldman universe people, another Feldman record. So yeah, let's talk about Baptize and what kind of how it started and then what it became, which by the way is my personal favorite ATREYU record since Lead Sales. So
Hell yeah, dude. Me too. Thank you. I appreciate that.
awesome.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. No, I mean, we kind of just, in our wake was such a good experience with Feldman that it was like, I think, like, why would we not? It wasn't even a question. It was like, yeah, it's time to make a record. We're going back to Feldman. Like, it was just automatic. Even making this, working on the current album we're working on now, it was kind of no question. It was just like, not who, or it was just when, you know? And this one too, it was like, do you want me to bring in some other people too? Do you want to write with other people? And it was like, yeah, I mean, why the fuck not? And the same thing, I talked to the band. It's like, it's not about, people think like, oh yeah, you co-wrote this song with somebody. They think someone sent you a track and then you re-recorded it as your band.
Yeah, like the old,
The reality.
Oh, Rihanna turned this down, so Britney Spears is singing it.
Yes,
like, yeah,
exactly.
That's not how this works.
The reality is, everything we've ever written, the five of us are in a room, and someone else is in the room just to bring some other sort of fresh energy in the room. Like, it's a new spark, it's a new brain that doesn't think like any of the brains that have done the same thing for decades at this point. So it's like, whether they're a huge input or not, they're going to say a word or a sentence or make a joke that's going to steer the room somewhere that it would not have gone otherwise. So we worked with, of course, John's got fucking the Rolodex of kings. Yep. So it's like, oh, like bringing Mark Hoppus, like, sick. We wrote 2 songs with Mark Hoppus. That dude is so intelligent and so good with words. You would never think, because it's like, oh, he's in Blink. Like, Blink's an amazing band, but it's like, it's very like, they have a couple
juvenile lyrics until you dig beneath the surface. Yeah,
you sit there, you're like, holy fuck, like, this dude is so smart and so nice, and just like we're different to all these people. So it's like we're like first timing them as well as they're first timing us. It's like the whole situation with Mark, and then like we did a couple songs with Grandson and his like kind of collaborator Kevin, and like that was sick. Like, we wrote that song Save Us with them, and like the whole phrasing of the verse came from his brain, because he has a little bit more of a hip-hop edge, and it was like he's in there like putting a scratch with the vocal, and he's almost rapping it, and we're like, well, what if we do this like ATREYU? We kind of scream it. It's still just aggressive, and now it's more like Rage Against the Machine than like, you know what I mean? Like, it's this whole new side. And we wrote with Dave Hodges, who used to be, his original thing was he was in Evanescence, but he's gone on to write for fucking every gigantic song you'd ever think of. Having a dude like that in the room, he's like a true genius. Like, oh, like, instead of that chord, what if we went to this, and everyone in the room's head explodes, and like, so like, just getting with all these people, and then even like involving Travis, like, we want a marching thing on this drum, like, come in and do Travis Barker as a marching band. Like, why the fuck not? Even when it comes down to on the previous record we did Superhero, but like, it's just like letting everyone have their own little like piece of your band for a second,
Yeah. And it is more like that hip hop mentality where you don't, where there's features and there's different producers and beat makers. Those songs at their best, in the hip hop world, still sound like whoever the main artist is, because also when you're bringing people in, they know who they're writing for. They're, like you said, like, oh, that's different than what I would come up with, but if we put it through our ATREYU computer, then it'll come out and it'll sound like that and like us. And and that's that it's bad. And I think a lot of that, there was a thing on Twitter as we're taping this right now yesterday where Diane Warren had made a joke about how does a song have 29 writers, and it was a song have 29 writers, and it was seen as shade towards Beyonce.
Yeah.
Even in that, it's more nuanced than it seems, because it's like, well, when you get into samples and
but that's the thing people don't understand is like, 8 of the writers or a sample they use from 2 words of a thing that they made
Exactly.
another.
Exactly. But even that, I think what people don't understand with rock bands, and especially heavy rock bands, is the co-write thing is totally different than the pop singer thing of,
Well, at the end of the day, it's funny because like due to the fact that that is the reality where it's the 5 of us writing with a new brain, it's like what matters most is it's like it doesn't matter what's happening in the studio. It matters what happens for the rest of eternity when this song exists.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's you that it's just listen to it and enjoy it. And if it weren't for these people, it wouldn't have happened. Save Us wouldn't have happened. Warrior wouldn't have happened. Sabotage Me wouldn't have happened. Like so many songs on Baptize, it just would have been like no fucking way they would have even existed.
And of course, that record's always going to be
of that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I lost you for a second. Can you hear me?
That's all good.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You froze up for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back. Which is, I was gonna say, it's almost perfect timing because we're literally almost done.
Yeah.
So my last question, I was going to ask then, Baptize being obviously a pivotal moment in the catalog in terms of stepping up as the frontman fully. How much did that experience play into the record you're making now? I guess in the sense that like this, whatever you're doing now couldn't have been whatever it's becoming had you not been through that experience of the last one.
I think that really like I feel like we've really come into our own as far as like being comfortable in our skin as the we've all, like I said, we've always just done what we wanted, but like it really feels like we're really good at letting the natural process just kind of take hold and go. And like we wrote this, it's funny, I posted on Twitter the other day, I was like, we wrote a song that sounds like, I said, it sounds like Disco Dracula started a Rammstein cover band. And it's like a ridiculous song, but it's fucking sick. And we're like, go, why not? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck cares? But I think making Baptize was a big thing for me because we'd already, like you said, we'd already started the record with Alex and written a good handful of songs and started tracking. And I had to go back in and do fucking all of it. I had to go back in and sing everything. And luckily, my band is the most supportive dudes on earth. And luckily, everyone in the band can sing too. So we really like, for us, it was like the first opportunity to have no form of pullback and no form of barrier as far as like, where can we go? That's why it's like, cool, opening track on the record is an a cappella track. That is all 5 members of our band singing. You know what I mean? It's like, we do harmonies now and we all sing them. It's not just me, or you know what I mean? It's like, it really just opened our eyes to like the possibilities, and the parameters widened, what we could do even more. So coming into this record is just feeling great off of Baptized, feeling great off of like its reception. It's like, yeah, just go in and do what we do, and it, like I said, it's never a preconceived idea. It's just like, go be better every time. Just go fucking be better and do better than you did last time. So that's kind of where we're at now. And I think Baptized was like a perfect springboard to kind of ease us into the next chapter or chapters really of our career. Because had it been a total fucking failure, a total flop, like we might have been in that Congregation of the Damned state of mind. You know what I mean? Where we were worried and kind of foggy and dull about what to do. But instead, we're just all kind of just like giddy little kids about what the future holds,
Yeah. I love that idea of being comfortable in your own skin. And I love, I think my favorite thing, the big piece of wisdom that you had in this conversation, when we were talking about, the importance of you wanting to do it and also being able to look at the arc of these records and hear that natural progression.
Yeah.
With the perspective of time. I think that's really important, and something for, kids as they're starting in their bands, or, established musicians that are going into album 2 and album 3 to maybe hear a little bit of that and realize like, okay, this is all going to make, this might seem crazy right now. It's going to make a lot more sense.
Yeah, it'll all make sense later. Don't worry.